am just super delighted to welcome you to the new season of Today's Woman. Our main purpose here is to tell our truths, hoping that they would inspire you and motivate you women out there to be the very best you can be in your careers and your various endeavors. Now, I don't know about you, but you know how I start my day. From time immemorial, for me, I always say, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And this is the way I start my day. And for our daily inspiration, we're going to feature a quote of the day, hoping that it will inspire you for the day.
Quote of the day. Embrace what you don't know, especially in the beginning, because what you don't know can become your greatest asset. It ensures that you will absolutely be doing things different from everybody else. Sarah Blackley.
Well, I do hope that this inspiration got you gingered for the day. Now, there's just something good about feeling good, isn't it? It just uplifts your spirits and peps you up for the day. Now, on this show, we will also feature some trendy tips to get you going.
Style tips for women leaders. 1. Go for balance between being attractive and powerful. To achieve a balance has a lot to do with the totality of clothes, grooming and attitude. From vibrant hair, flawless makeup, clean and well-pressed outfits that fit perfectly. 2. Be fashionable but not trendy. Women in leadership roles should be classic and perfectly put together. Clean lines, perfect tailoring and exquisite fabric transcend time and trends. In short. 3. It's about projecting you. It all depends on what fits best and projects an appropriate image that you will look and feel relaxed in. The key is to remember that the woman wears the clothes don't wear the woman.
Well, these tips just helped me, and I do hope they did the same for you. Now, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Let's go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we are going to meet our star guest on the show. Do not go away, just stay with us.
The host is styled by J Soul Fashion House.
Well, they say great things come in small packages. And I must say, from my perspective, I think great people come in very calm demeanors and personalities. Today, I'm going to feature an exciting woman. When you see her, she's very, very petite. She's sweet, but I tell you, she's a powerhouse. Meet my friend whom I've known for several years. Her name is Madam Theresah Yamson. Please check her profile out.
Mrs. Theresah Yamson is currently the Chief Executive Officer of Phyto Riker Pharmaceuticals Limited, one of the leading pharmaceutical manufacturing companies in Ghana. Theresah started her career in Unilever Ghana Limited in the technical department, formulating new products of foods in 1995. With hard work, she rose to become the head of foods development. In 2005, she was sent on expatriation to Regional Innovation Center, South Africa, where she spent 3 years training others in product and process development for culinary and fats. After 14 years, she joined Nestle Central West Africa as a Regional Innovation Manager for culinary, responsible for product launches for Maggi across the West Africa region. Here, she honed her skills in project management, business strategy, innovation, lean management, and leadership development. Her passion and enthusiasm to drive innovation and change has enabled her to excel in various roles, both in technical and business management, leading teams in research and development, innovation and renovation, category management, strategy development, lean management, and sales during the last 26 years. Mrs. Theresah Yamson is our guest today.
Theresah, welcome. Welcome. Inabueche, welcome. Oh, so good to have you. Please have a seat. Oh, Theresah, you have no idea how excited I am to have you here.
It's a pleasure,
It's
Janet.
a pleasure?
It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Okay, so today what we're going to do, we're going to tell our truths and hope that it's going to inspire our young ladies out there. That's the simple mission that we have today. So I don't know about you, but growing up, I had 4 brothers, no sisters, and I wasn't pampered, right? I was the mother to all these 4 boys. Now you tell me, how was it growing up for you?
In my household, then it was the reverse.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we were 5 girls and then a boy. And I'm number 4.
You're number 4?
I'm number 4. So I
Okay.
had 3 older sisters.
Uh-huh.
And everything you had to fight over.
Okay.
So
that explains why you're such a tough lady.
I don't know.
Yeah?
But yes, but my sisters will put you in place.
And the boy is number 1 or number 2?
He's number 6.
Oh, okay. So he's like the baby.
He's the baby.
Was he
yes.
pampered?
Yes.
He was pampered.
Yes.
So I don't know about you, but growing up among 5 girls, how was it? Was it exciting? Were you daddy's girl?
I think all of us were daddy's girls.
Oh,
That's
nice.
it. He treated us, and I think even my mother, all fairly equally. But what I loved, and now that I look back on, was the fact that they didn't treat us like girls.
Okay.
You see how everybody's sitting here looking pretty, and no, not in my house.
All
you
right.
did everything a boy would do or a girl would do. Chores were chores.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
My father's background was in auto engineering, auto mechanic. So he was happy for his girls to help him with the cars.
Okay.
So you looked under the hood. You had to, he would open up, my older sister will tell you, you wash the car.
Is it?
So it wasn't that, oh, your job is be in the kitchen only. Sure, when it's time for the kitchen, you get in there. But if there are other chores that, because where are the boys? There are no boys.
Okay.
So if there are no boys, it doesn't mean that the girls can't do it. And I think it was later in life also that I realized it was actually my mom. I had one T-shirt I loved as a
Okay.
girl. I was like 6, 6.5, 7. My best T-shirt, every day I wore it.
Okay. So today, if
Anything-
your car breaks down, will you be able to fix it?
Madam, I learned how to change a tire.
Oh, yeah?
Before my father would teach you how to
That's a good
drive,
one.
before you learned how to drive in my house, you learned also how to change a tire.
Oh, that's
so
fantastic.
like, I've had a driver on and off and stuff. I jump start my car. If my car stops, I've got the cables in the back of the car.
Okay.
I know how to jump start my car.
Okay.
Okay? You need to know where the engine oil is going. If you need, in fact, I used to go sometimes when we were doing the tire changes, and I'll tell the mechanics, please, I want to rotate my car tires. This was,
Are you serious?
no, yes.
Oh, that's
Why?
nice.
Yes, because he appreciates the fact that you're willing to explore, and he's not going to turn you away.
Okay.
And similarly for my mother, she thinks, okay, well, please go and change the light bulb for her. And you're saying I'm tiny.
No, so
I'm
what we're
changing the
learning
light bulb.
today, that is great to be an all-rounder.
Why not?
Yeah?
Yes.
It doesn't stop you from being anything. If you're a girl, it doesn't matter.
No.
It's great to be...
What's gender?
Now, you tell me, a little birdie told me that you have a science background. Amongst your 5 sisters, which one of you was science-oriented?
Just me.
Just you?
Just me.
No, what was behind that?
I don't really know, because they used to tease me a little bit about that too as well. But, we're all different talents, etc.
What was it teasing about? Tell
No,
me.
I don't know. It's like you like maths. What's all this stuff that you're reading? How come you can figure these things out?
Okay.
But that is what I loved,
Okay.
you know. And my parents would, how shall I say it? But they would actually encourage you. So my mom would take us to the British Council, what books you need, etc. They would look, if she travels, she's buying you books from Foyles. They're looking, and for me, I'm reading anything and everything I get
Okay.
my hands on.
Oh, right.
But as you said, I love taking things apart a little and fixing
And
them.
putting them back
yes, of course,
together.
it gets you into trouble sometimes because you can't always fix it and put it back together. And
Right.
then you're hiding the mess.
But it was a
that-
learning, wasn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
Oh, but that's fantastic. You know, today, I have my children. I have 2 boys, by the way. I know you have 2 great girls and a boy.
And a boy, yes.
Would you say the parenting of your parents then compares to how you're parenting your children today?
I would like to think so. Obviously, generation, and we were laughing in the corner when we're talking about generation
Yeah.
Z or Z, but it's a little different. So they're far more tech savvy than our generation. So we were maybe taught, yes, this is how it should be, you're not answering back, those funny little things. But in our times, at least in my household, I think because of the way maybe my parents brought us up, I also expected my son also to be in the kitchen when I'm
Okay.
in the kitchen,
All
okay?
right.
But outside as well. So
Okay.
I've tried to make sure, even with my girls too as well, that they didn't think that there were things that was only the man's prerogative or the boy's prerogative.
Okay.
That you're not limited in what career choices or things that you find that you have a passion for.
Okay.
That for me was, I think, the philosophy from being in my household that I've tried to carry along.
Were there values you learned growing up as a child that you think has helped you mature to who you are today that you pass on to your children?
Yes, I think the value...
Like two of them.
Two of them. I think hard work, and a lot of times I would say integrity.
Integrity.
Yes.
I would like it to delve a little. You know, these our young ladies. Now, everybody says you need to work hard because hard work pays off. You know, and they tell you, no, you don't need to work hard. You need to work smart, right? Okay. Now, so what does smart mean when you say work smart versus work hard?
Okay. So I think for me, and maybe they can also help me too, because we're learning from each other. And this is how I think life is. It isn't that just because I traversed a certain path, I know it all.
Yes.
But in my view, working hard means that a lot of times you might face a lot of challenges along the way. Whether or not you're even doing it smartly, not every day is going to be a good day. But you're not going to give up along the journey. And
The
that
key
for
thing
me,
is not to give up along
not to
the
give up.
journey.
It's going to be tough sometimes. You're going to be disheartened. You're not, sometimes even going to wonder whether this is really where I want to be. But tomorrow will come. And with tomorrow comes a new day and a new opportunity to prove yourself again and to give it your very best. For
So-
me, that's working hard.
Okay, that's working hard,
yes.
versus working smart.
Well, I think we've taken working smart in a slightly, or given it a negative connotation,
Which is?
in that it means I want to cut corners.
Is that what
Yes.
it means to you?
Yes.
You want to cut corners.
Okay? Now, to me, that's not working smart. Because if I cut a corner, and the corner I'm cutting may mean that I have actually changed fundamentally or brought in something that shouldn't be there, I may not have done the right thing. And that's where the integrity comes. We could do it smart in that perhaps it takes too long.
Yes.
You understand me? Yes. So that I agree. There are lots of things that it takes too long. We do that even in science, and we do it in what we call lean. You look at the entire process. There are certain steps that add value to it, and some we say do not add value.
Okay.
But first I have to differentiate which ones are not adding value, so that if I remove them, then am I still having the same end result? Okay? So it could be that, fine, you want to get from point A to point B, but I need to traverse this corner, that corner, there. Okay? However, maybe if I go this direction, that's smart, right?
Yes.
I've gotten there.
Yes.
Yes. But if you had told me I needed to pick up certain things along the journey, by cutting it this way, I've left them out.
Okay.
I may not then end up with the desired result. So when you take those ones out, if you were working smart, you have to check whether the end result is what you actually wanted.
You know, Theresah, some say that working smart also means that I know my purpose, I know the destination I want to go to, and therefore I don't need to waste time doing other things that do not add value to my destination. So now the point is, because I hear a lot of young people say, you know, Auntie Jane, I don't know what my purpose is in life. How do I identify what my purpose is? How do I identify where my talent is? How do I identify where to add value? what do you say to these young ladies? How do I identify my purpose? What makes me tick?
But therein lies the conundrum. In that, if you are rushing to get to the end, you didn't actually enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
You didn't get all the experiences that might help you to then identify that purpose,
Okay.
to then perhaps learn a few things. And believe you me, all of us know things that even if you think back from whether school or even today, maybe why was I learning this subject? What
Yes.
am I going to do with it? That's what I keep
Like the
hearing.
literatures.
I read literature.
I also
I'm a-
read
I'm a-
literature.
I'm,
The
as you
Julius
said,
Caesars,
I'm an
the
engineer,
Amatedus.
but I read it.
That's fantastic.
Do you understand? Because I loved it. Doesn't mean that, but later, perhaps when I'm writing a report, what I've learned in literature in terms of language, I can apply.
Okay.
So when I was doing it, it wasn't for that purpose. In life, if you're always looking for just getting to the end result, you miss the view. You don't take in a few other experiences. And that's where sometimes we're always rushing.
What do you say to the young ones who feel the sense of entitlement?
I've got one at home.
Tell me about it. What do you tell him or her?
I'm a bit of a tough nut, especially on the days when I've had it with that sense of entitlement. Sorry. Because I feel, why are you saying, or why do you feel you're entitled? I'm not being negative, but I think for all of us, we're privileged.
Yes.
Including, my children, everyone.
Yes.
And therefore, we shouldn't take anything and life for granted at all.
Yes, yeah.
If you wake up and by God's grace, you are alive, you are healthy, you're well, that in itself is a very big plus.
Yes.
Everything else is a bonus.
So, Theresah, now you were the science-oriented lady of the house, and then you did biochem.
Chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering.
Yes. Yes.
And then you went on to work in Unilever.
Yes.
Tell me about that experience.
For me, that was a great experience. Having come back with my first degree in chemical engineering, I wasn't really sure. I actually even interviewed for Tema Oil Refinery. By the time Tor called me, Unilever had already given me an offer, and I thought, yes. And I was put in the foods department at the time. So doing what we now today is a lot about research and development. And Unilever had the philosophy that they would take, instead of taking, say, food nutritionists to work in the foods department, take chemical engineers. At the time,
what was behind that thinking?
So in the sense that once you're going to transition into the factory, you need to be able to upscale what has come from the laboratory, the research part, into full-scale manufacturing.
Okay.
So though you might not have, I didn't have a foods background, I was now working with a lot of food material, basically starting with, say, culinary, then I moved into fats and oils. I did...
What was the brand?
At that time, it was Royco.
Royco. So the
yes.
seasoning cubes.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and developing the formulations for that. Now you're applying the same methodology, mathematics. I'm optimizing formulations. I'm testing them. I'm testing them out in the lab. Of course, with a chemistry background too, I can understand, say, certain reactions that are happening. So it's easy enough to think through it and then now say, how do I, if I've done it on a small scale, then scale that up into full manufacturing.
Oh, that's exciting.
So you take it from lab to completion for the launch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So during that time, did you come up with any new concepts, any new ideas?
Actually, yes, because it was in my time that we did all the Royco. So Royco shrimp, Royco beef, Royco dawa dawa. I developed all of those formulations.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And it was exciting because I think, we had a good team.
Okay.
And especially one director who was interested in also working on other projects.
How long did you do this for?
working my way up in Unilever, I was there for almost 14 years, 13 and a half years.
13 and so you started as what?
I started then as a process development analyst.
Okay.
Worked on and doing some of that. In fact, also doing what we would call in terms of, say, doing tastings and assessing products.
Okay.
So there was a period of time too that then I would cover all the various products, not just foods, but health.
And then you went on to South Africa.
Yes.
How long was that?
That was 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
Were you married then?
Yes.
Did you go with your children?
Yes, I did.
Yes. Tell me, I know it's challenging because
Very.
I've had that experience as well. When I worked in Nestle, I used to move from country to country with my children.
Yes.
And it was tough. It wasn't easy. These days, you see most women in careers, they say, no, I'm not mobile. My husband will not allow me to go. And I say, well, what are you doing in a multinational if you're not mobile? You have to be mobile to be in a... But tell me about the experience in South Africa.
I think it was, for me, some of the best years as well. As difficult as it was, as we're saying, I didn't go with my husband then. He was actually working first. So when I went first, he was working also in Côte d'Ivoire. So he was also with Unilever in Côte d'Ivoire. Then later he left after that time. But I was there 3 years with the children. And it's not easy managing a full career and, say, motherhood. And especially being somewhere where you don't have the, say, family and maybe close friends, but you build them. Okay,
I need you to hold that thought. We will go for a break and we will be right back.
The host is styled by J Soul Fashion House.
You're welcome back to the program. This is Janet Sunko Mills on Today's Woman, and we have here Theresah Yamson. Theresah, you were talking to me about South Africa experience. You told me, you know, one of the challenges I have as an expatriate, you immerse yourself in a completely new environment. Different people, different food, different culture. You have to learn their language. You have to vibe with them just so that the work goes on. Tell me, how was your unique experience in South Africa?
My experiences were great, especially I think with the people I worked with.
Yeah.
They were welcoming. Unilever has a wonderful culture overall, and it's set up in a way that embraces the fact that we come from different nationalities and are meeting there. Of course, they're predominantly South Africans. And as you're saying, you're learning a little bit about their culture. You're learning to understand their ways of working. And it's important to note those differences and not think that just because I'm coming, things should be done the way I know that they're done. That's for me, that's the important thing. And as you're saying, learning to make friends, both for your children, for yourself. I met some wonderful ladies from my church I still keep in touch with.
Oh, that's lovely.
One of them became the godmother because I had my third child while on expatriation. Yes, Madam Sarah was born in Durban, South Africa.
Okay.
So it's possible. It's difficult, but it's possible. And of course, then you even worry because you've been sent to work, and then after maybe 2.5 years, guess what? There you are. This was not part of the package or the deal when you were being brought along.
That again.
But you know, it happens. But they were accommodating, and I had a super boss. Occasionally, we're still on LinkedIn. We communicate.
So you're saying the support is critical.
The support is critical.
Now let's fast forward. Now this is the most exciting part. You are the first CEO of Phyto Riker Pharmaceuticals. My God, ladies. This is amazing. So I was watching the documentary and I'm like, eesh, Theresah is handling this. Girl, you are a superwoman. I admire you. Well done.
Thank you.
Tell me, how did you get there?
Again, for me, it's by God's grace.
Yes.
And it's a lot about hard work and finding the right opportunities. I tend not to say no to a lot of things. Okay. So like I said, even if maybe a certain role doesn't seem to be adding value, believe you me, I've probably done it. Okay?
Okay.
There are times
Tell me
when
the weirdest thing you did that you thought didn't have value.
weirdest thing, actually, probably I enjoyed it. I don't know that I'll say it was weird, but there was a time I was working on projects in the north of Ghana for the Kwalugu factory.
Okay.
So we'd leave in the mornings with the boss on the tomato factories. So we'll leave in the north, go all the way up to Tono, and see the Tono irrigation farms. And they were at the time, I think Unilever was looking to see whether they would invest in tomato so that we would actually make the product. I've never done agronomy.
Okay.
The gentleman's come, he's an agronomist from
Okay.
Argentina, he's come. And I'm thinking, okay, fine. I'll go along, I'll learn what it's about. And the stuff that I was learning,
So you're saying we have to be curious
very much so.
and keep learning.
Learn and relearn.
Okay, back to Phyto Riker. On the first day, you reported to work. You are the first CEO, lady CEO. Now tell me, did you have to put on a mask of a man, or you went as Theresah?
I always go as Theresah.
You always go as, that's fascinating. Tell me, how was the reception? How did you feel?
The reception was, I think, one I would say of curiosity, and they
Okay.
were not sure. Because as you were...
Who was not sure?
Well, I think the entire team, or I'd
Okay.
say the entire organization, because I've been brought in. The former MD has left, and I've been recruited. And they're wondering that this is a pharmaceutical company. Who exactly is this lady? Do we know her? Does she have a pharmaceutical background? And as you said, normally when I appear, I look, I don't even say I look, I am smaller than I can understand, than the
With a
average.
very soft voice.
Yes.
Well,
Well, not
power packed.
Yes, and then they think, is she a Bruni? Nah, is she Ghanaian, right? You know, so we come in there, they have, so like in the main grounds, and they've all congregated, so HR takes me so that then I can meet everyone. I speak up, introduce myself, and have a few words with them. Then because I like things
Were you
to be-
intimidated?
Well, I'll keep that to myself. But what I like to do is I like to not keep things too formal. So
Okay.
my point afterwards was, yes, I'm here, please. This is our first meeting, but doesn't mean that I've just spoken, nobody can say anything. So we're meeting each other. I'm welcoming any questions or, thoughts. So, of course, one person goes up, please, are you Ghanaian? And I said, I'm proudly Ghanaian, and I'm proudly Ghan.
Yes.
Oh, fine, Ghanaian Jimmy.
That's it. What's your guy name again?
Aicho.
Aicho.
Yes.
Did they call you
Chocho?
Chocho or
Yes,
something? Na
yes,
Chocho.
yes.
I'm
No,
Nana
na.
Atili. There's no Na.
No, Na, a lot of times is, for us, it's an accolade, or in that sense, you are then being named after somebody.
Okay. So here we have Madam Theresah Chocho Yamson at Phyto Riker. And you know the amazing thing, ladies? This year, 60 years of existence.
Thank you.
And this, I must say, when I was reading or watching the documentary, this is a heritage company. Your name will go down in the annals of this company. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about 60 years? What are some of the things you're going to say, and we achieved over these 60 years?
For me, I think I feel very humbled, because it just so happens that in my time there, I have come and we are turning 60. As you said, 1962.
Wow.
From our very first president, the late Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The vision was born to have a pharmaceutical division of what was then GIHOC started, simply because he felt that we needed to have the manufacturing expertise within Africa, within Ghana, for ourselves,
Yes.
producing medicines for Ghana. And we've been able to keep that going. We've been able to build on that. Phyto Riker was the first company to have ISO 9001 certification in West Africa.
For viewers who don't understand ISO, what do you mean by that?
ISO is a certification body that helps to enable us to ensure that we're making consistently good quality products. Okay. So it runs across. It's not just in pharmaceuticals that you can have ISO coming for certification.
Okay.
But they're looking to ensure that your practices are being upheld and that the products that you make are efficacious and meet certain standards.
So now this is a global standard.
Global standard.
Oh, right.
Okay?
Okay.
First in West Africa. And in fact, for pharmaceutical companies, we get annual checks or certifications done, and then every 3 years we have to be recertified.
Okay.
And since then, we've been recertified 5 times.
Okay.
So that means we've had this over a little over 15 years,
Okay.
having to continue.
Okay.
We cannot lose that, because that then means that you know when you pick our products that the quality is guaranteed. Okay? So we've been doing that. We've been exporting to various companies or countries within West Africa. In the last few years, some of our exports went down, but we are coming back up again with it. So
Okay.
we export to Burkina, we export to Cote d'Ivoire.
Which brands are you
We
exporting?
make for that we have brands like Difex, we do
Okay.
Zoobs, we
Okay.
do Drastin.
Zoobs is a cough mixture.
Yes, Zoobs, yes. So the entire Zoobs range
Is
is
this
us.
yellow and red?
Yes,
I remember it
yes,
so well.
yes, yes.
Do you remember it?
Yes, so that's us.
Okay.
We make Drastin, which is for aspirin, so for pain relief. We also have Cetapol, so we have, and we do a lot of pediatric suspensions. So we
Okay.
have in terms of ranges for children. We do a lot of anti-malarials. So
Okay.
of course we're in a region
Okay.
where anti-malaria is quite big.
Okay.
We have various products. So we have at least even over 77 products that
Okay.
we're manufacturing
Okay.
locally here in Ghana.
Okay.
So this then obviously helps us to be able to meet the needs, and we're moving right now. What we've been researching and doing is moving into, I would say, new segment.
Okay.
So looking at
What
the
are the
fact,
segments?
Well, looking at the fact that lifestyles are changing. Okay. We're finding non-communicable diseases are becoming more prevalent, and that's where we need to focus some of our energies.
Okay.
So in the next thing, we've just launched a new range, which we're calling Rymlo. Rymlo is an amlodipine, so that helps in terms of high blood pressure.
Okay.
We're coming up with medication for diabetes too as well, metformin, etc. So we're adding those.
What do you say these days, Sam? We noticed that there are some diseases, like when we were growing up, they were
weren't there.
associated with people above 50, your diabetes or high blood pressure, and these days mental health is is on
yes.
another level altogether.
Very
What
true.
role do you play in there?
So as we're saying, we are trying to help to provide the right medication for you. It's important to recognize that with some of these, as you said, they're also what you would call lifestyle diseases, especially the non-communicable ones. If we're eating healthy, exercising, especially, and taking better care of ourselves. So managing both the work and your family in terms of work-life balance, making sure that things are going right, ideally, and also making regular visits to your doctor, etc. You should be able to keep some of these, as you're saying, at bay till you're maybe above 50 and beyond. The reality is, unfortunately, it's happening earlier because then the diets are changing. People are not conscious. As I said, if you're reading more, you understand that maybe you're consuming too much fat, you're not exercising, yes, too much sugar, you're not exercising when you should, maybe eating even too late sometimes. So all of these things are not helping you. And sometimes when I say, oh, I'm studying, so I want to the young ones, Exactly. But you pay for it later. Your body is going to tell you. And that your body is an engine. So if you're not taking care of that, in the same way you take your car for servicing, you better be looking and taking my mother laughs at me every time. I said everything too, there's only one spare part. There's no spare parts, in fact, in this one. It's not like I can go and, they can put, I tell you, they put in the spare parts, they don't always work. The doctors will say, oh, we'll change this.
And you know what I find challenging sometimes? We will go into the challenges of being the new female, the female CEO of Phyto Riker. What are some of, just name for me 2 challenges and how you have circumvented them.
Well, I think the first biggest challenge, obviously, for a lot of people was the fact that I didn't have a pharmacist background.
Okay.
Okay? As I said, I'm a chemical engineer. But with the kind of experiences and with the kind of roles I've run, they quickly realized, and I said to them, last time we were laughing about it with my senior management team. I'm like, I'm probably the first one who's not a pharmacist.
Okay.
If you look at all the other pharmaceutical companies, I think I can name one other. It's a good friend of who's also not but everybody else.
Okay.
You know, and we know the
So
big
you
ones.
quickly went over that hurdle.
Yes.
You had to upgrade yourself.
Well, yes, I had to understand, but maybe my chemistry background too helps.
Yes.
And the fact that a lot of what you're doing is running a business. It's
Yes.
business management.
Yes.
So I said to them, I'm not here to now formulate. The days of my formulation are over.
Plus,
I'm
you
not
have
here-
a team.
Thank
You're just
you.
managing the team
Yes,
to
but
make sure they deliver.
But because I've also worked in R&D,
Yes.
when the R&D head is talking, I can understand.
Yes.
He knows I know about formulation.
Yes.
I know about packaging. When the quality assurance lady is talking, I know what she's talking about because I worked hand in hand.
So what
with
we're saying is the spectrum to be big. And what is your second challenge?
I would say my second challenge a lot of times.
If we can go quickly over that, so
Quickly.
that our ladies will have some questions for us.
Okay. And this is in relation to, again, my role. I think it's also managing, for me, the managing or understanding the fact that, or the mindset or mind shift, moving from a multinational
Okay.
to a more of a local business. And
Yes.
understanding that, yes, I also have to adapt
Yes.
to new ways of working. So again, back to the learn and relearn. I know certain things, but I also have to learn certain things from my team in order that we can work very well
So
together.
we're talking about adaptation and upscaling.
Yes, for
Fantastic.
myself.
Ladies, I hope you have enjoyed Madam Theresah through and through. Now, I know you do have some questions. I'm going to take just 2 questions.
Okay, so I would like to know how you managed your career, your home and religion, and also how you conquered it in the man's world.
I like that. In a man's world. And who said it's a man's world?
Thank
Anyway,
you.
it's everybody's world.
Yes. How do I manage? I think for me, I make every minute matter. Sometimes I think I'm a little too busy and rushing around can seem, but even from the morning, I heard in the beginning when we're starting, if I start my day with a simple prayer. The Lord's Prayer for me is the best prayer that summarizes everything that you are asking God for. So once I've done that, as you're saying, managing children means that even though I'm at work, sometimes my brain, I say, especially when they were young, there were times I felt like I was a headless chicken because I might be there, but my mind is sometimes. So for me, every moment had to be well planned out in the sense that if I knew even weekends, maybe I'm going to cook. If it's Fridays, making sure that some of the ingredients are bought. Try and do certain things ahead of time so that then when it comes to getting out there, I'm not feeling so rushed and overwhelmed.
So adding up to the question she just asked, you see, you were traveling up and down because of work and all that. And sometimes when you move into new societies, say because like there were people working over there, but then you having to migrate from one country to the other to pick up such a position, how was it like? Weren't they trying to intimidate you, or like were they making you feel comfortable in whatever you were doing, as well as adjusting with new people and all that?
I think maybe I've been blessed in that I don't see and then one friend told me that I don't see the negative first off. In that I'd go in there not worrying even whether the person is going to like me or not. I'm more worried about me trying to do a good job. I'm putting the pressure on myself. I'm trying to see how I can fit in or learn as much as possible. So yes, there will be times when, and it's happened in my career, you can see that maybe somebody might be perhaps working slightly against you. But I don't take that as the sort of like the defining moment.
Yes.
And it's not about whether I can retaliate or whatever. It's about, therefore, let me do my best.
Yes.
God is up there, he will decide.
Please, you spoke about finding the right opportunities. How do you identify that this is the right opportunity? Because I feel like not all opportunities will like lead you to where you want to go. So how do you do that? 'Cause
I think my best answer with that would be a little bit of trial and error. You understand me? You got to keep trying. You're knocking on as many doors because you're looking for the opportunity. As I'm knocking in my head, I'm praying. It's not about shouting out loud, but I'm praying because I'm asking him to guide me. I'm asking him to help me. And if the opportunity comes and I jump for it, I also am asking him to help me to do my very best, okay? It may, at the time, a lot of things we say hindsight is 2020. As I'm doing it, I may not know that that's the best, and I can't see all the opportunities. So I don't know whether to go this way or that way. And I think that's what sometimes we're worried about. Have I done the... You can only do the best that you can. If I've gone through there and maybe another one comes, it might be later on, great. That would be the follow-up. I take what I've done from here and I use it over there in order to get better and better.
You get it? And I will add as well, you really need to be upgrading yourself.
Yes.
Constant improvement. Because an opportunity may come in, like, and they're looking for a specific skill and you don't have it. You know what I mean? So yes, you're all doing PR, but don't be too focused on the PR. Try to see what are the ecosystems around PR and try to upgrade your skills around all those areas. Welcome back. Welcome back. So you know what? As I said in the beginning, we feature segments on this program. Now we're going to meet our young female startups, just as our grandmothers did and looked after us. My mother did, my grandmother did, and the young girls of today continue to endeavor on so many entrepreneurial journeys. Meet our startup of the week.
Hi, I'm Angel Tosu. I'm sitting comfortable in my chair with my comfy pillow. The name of my company is Tosu Craftwork. What pushed me into this? I've done a lot of work, but I think it doesn't help me. So I decided to go back to my fashion designer. I told my mom and my dad that I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I loved handwork, needlework. Just try your best and start from somewhere small. You'll also be there and you will love to do more and more, even be better than me. Thank you.
Oh, so this is how we have fun on the show. I'm so happy to have been with you here today. Theresah, thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, we all thank Theresah. I hope her story has been inspiring. Yes. And viewers, I hope you also enjoy the show. I want to thank everybody, my crew, TV3, and to you, my viewers. I love you all. And remember, if you're better today, you have already won. See you again next week.